Welcome to Manifest. That's the name of this podcast. Today, we are going to be talking about the importance of following your path. I know I've done a few other videos about this, but I just came back from driving. Um, I picked up this hat. It's Salty Crew. There's an octopus. In Hawaiian, we call it he'e. I like it. It's green. Goes along with my culture and just the things I like. So yeah, I just got this hat. But anyway, while I was driving, um, there was a there was kind of a lot of traffic, so that was interesting. Um, and then also when I was getting to my exit, so I took an alternate route. So there was a lot of traffic, so I took another route. And then when I was getting to my exit, there was still a lot of traffic. This was kind of around lunchtime, so maybe I thought people were moving around, things like that. But I've noticed where I'm at, there's just been a lot of traffic and a lot of accidents. Um, so I thought that was kind of important. So maybe that was a message. So I figured I'd talk about it. But yeah, so following your path, what I got from that was I kind of just felt like I knew exactly where I was going throughout the whole traffic. It seemed like people were kind of just going with the flow because I live in the ocean or like by the ocean. The current is continually flowing. You know, the water's always flowing. Um, and right now, that's bringing up Finding Nemo, the movie Finding Nemo, where the scene with the turtles. I think it was the dad and the son, and then they were just in the jet stream. I think they called it, but that was a current. And they were kind of just going with the flow. And Nemo, or not Nemo, but the dad. I forget the dad's name, but the dad was looking for Nemo, and then Dory was with the dad, and Dory was kind of just hanging out with the turtles, going with the flow. But the dad was really worried that about the son because the son is lost. He's trying to find the son, all this kind of things, all emotions, stress, and all that. But yeah, Dory was kind of just kind of doing her own thing. You know what I mean? Like staying in her own lane. She was there to help him, but come to find out that she's the one that found, I think, the mask at this point or whatever, and then all different kind of stuff came back to her memory, and then um, Dory was actually a big part of the story of helping the dad and throughout all different kind of obstacles. But she had her own way of navigating, and she trusted her path. So that's kind of what I'm getting from that movie that just popped up into my head. But going back to the traffic, that's how I felt in the traffic. Like it was just everyone was kind of just going with the flow. They didn't really seem like they had a direction. Then I saw a few people just switching lanes and swerving throughout the whole everything. So that was just interesting. I knew exactly where I was going, and I knew how to get there. So once I saw the traffic, then like I said, I rerouted and then went a different way. But then when I got closer to my exit, there was a lot of traffic. Uh, the same. So um, that's when I figured just go more down the road, and then turn around or just keep going and track back a little bit. And ended up being a lot easier. It's just kind of constant driving, not so much stop and go, not so much waiting. So I probably ended up there maybe around the same time, or it could have been later, but there was just a constant driving instead of waiting. So what I got from that was, yeah, follow your own path. Although it might look a certain way, like instead of just waiting in traffic for whoever knows how long, because it was kind of backed up, it's pretty far. I don't know if there was an accident up at the cutoff or traffic light or whatever. I didn't really get a chance to see as I passed by, but there's different ways to get to the same place. Is basically what I'm taking from that. Even though it might take longer, or it might seem like it might take longer to get to the same um, place or the same outcome, it might be actually what you're guided to do, because that's what I was guided to do. I could have um, tried to get close to the cutoff and then cut in at the last minute, but I kind of didn't want to do that. I just kept going and then backtrack, turned around, you know. So yeah, I kind of just go with your intuition. Like that's what I was being led to do, and that's what I uh, have always done without my whole life, not just this instance. But I found that when I do follow my intuition, so in Hawaiian we call it na'au. That's your gut feeling, your intuition. So when I follow that, I always find that everything works out. And like I said, it might look a lot different than what other people are doing. Like I might be going, uh, some would say off the deep end with certain things, but my path has been very unique. You know, I'm unique. I've been unique since a child. So yeah, if you don't know, so I'm a kahuna in Hawaiian. That's kind of like a shaman, but I'm also telepathic. I think that's part of being kahuna. Um, my ancestors were very in touch with nature and our gods. So yeah, I feel like it's a part of it. But in today's society, they would call it telepathic and also psychic. But I feel like that is all encompassed underneath the title of kahuna, which is shaman, in my culture, Hawaiian. So yeah, being having no spiritual gifts, I was very different. My path was very different from the beginning than other people. So that's kind of why I'm bringing this up as well, is because just trust yourself and follow what you're being led to do, and you will get to where you need to be. Um, like I said, it might be really different than what other people are doing, and you might be the first one to do something. So you have to have a lot of courage and bravery in this, because there will be times where your faith will be tested. Um, you'll have to remain confident in yourself, your decisions. You know, even when it doesn't work out, know that maybe that was a lesson or even a blessing in disguise. Maybe um, it had to happen that way for a reason. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting from this whole experience of taking a detour and kind of going my own way, even though everyone is kind of going one way. Um, you can choose to go another way and still get to the same place. Or if we're talking about in terms of manifestation, um, people might be manifesting things a certain way, or they might be conditioned to do things a certain way, but that just doesn't resonate with you. So you choose to do it your way, and it works out. A lot of the times, people are not gonna support you, or they're not gonna jump on the bandwagon until it finally does work out. But by then, it's like you already put in all the hard work, and you already did all the blood, sweat, and tears. So it's like now you're just riding the wave that you created. Really, you created momentum, and now you're just um, keeping it going. So it's like, what is the point of the people now supporting you when they weren't supporting you when you really need them? That's not really the purpose of this video, but that is just an example of what can happen and what happens a lot when you choose to branch out and do something out of the norm. So it's just something to think about. That's what was on my mind. You know, I wanted to share that with you guys. Maybe some of you are resonating with that. And then let's see, something else had just came up while I was speaking about that. Um, I kind of wanted to say like don't give up, but that wasn't what the idea was that I was thinking about. So what was it? The support. Um, damn, yeah, I lost that thought. But yeah, just follow your own path. Um, it helps if you have a belief in a higher power. So for me, I don't believe in Jesus, but I believe in God, like the Hawaiian gods. I pray to them. I have altars. I give offerings. You know, that's part of my culture. But yeah, those are some things that helped me through that whole process. Um, yeah, so if you're early on in that journey where things are still kind of rough and you're on your own, just know that you are supported. even if it's just God supporting you, or you know what I mean, like yourself, your higher self, or even your ancestors. Um, Being that you are doing something on your own, you could be a generational curse breaker, which is really good, but also really hard at the same time because a lot of people are not going to support you. They are going to try and bring you down just because you're doing something different. But that's the message I have for you today. I hope you resonated with it, took something from it, maybe even spiked your interest to look something up. But yeah, be on the lookout for further content. Also, I just released 2 books. Let me know if you're interested. I think my website, or at least my Facebook, is in the description. Um, on my Facebook, it has my website with the services I offer, a link over there. So check that out. Share these videos, get the message out. I'm trying to grow this channel. Um, but yeah, let me know if you're interested in any of my content or my books. But I will see you on the next video.